Alrighty, and the next person I'd like to offer up is Sara Heinicke, the Executive Director for Lloyd EcoDistricts, a sustainability professional in the Northeast Ohio region since 2011. Sara has a background in nonprofit management, grants administration, and using environmental sustainability as a business management tool for positive organization change. She has led an award-winning healthcare sustainability program for a large regional health system and is currently building a new sustainability program for a public county hospital in Cleveland, Ohio. But let's welcome Sara Heinicke.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I was looking for a career change, so that's cool. So I'm Sara Heinicke. I'm the Executive Director of Lloyd EcoDistricts. I'm in Portland, Oregon. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about a new pilot project that we're working on that is working with sort of food waste as the organizing principle and looking at the upstream opportunity and the downstream opportunity in terms of how an eco-district can affect that change. So at Lloyd, so we're looking at, the sort of business case scenario of what you have before us right now. So the opportunity that we have in Lloyd is as primarily an employment district. We have a lot of business lunches, we have a lot of catered events, we have a lot of boxed lunches, we have a lot of rubber chicken dinners, and there is a lot of waste implied in all of that. And so we really wanted to see how we can use the power of an eco-district to really aggregate demand for change and really activate our network of people who've been coming along with us on this sort of bonkers ride for a while and convince them to try something new, to really transform that space a little bit. So we received a grant from the eBay Foundation because there's a technology component to this, and we wanted to see if we could possibly bring our community along to a different way of looking at the upstream potential for waste reduction in food, and then also finding a better place for leftovers that are inevitably a part of that whole kind of corporate event and catering option. And the reason why our community would be up for that is because we've been doing these kinds of sort of crazy pilots for a while now. So we work with them on figuring out how do we sort of activate corporate culture around e-bike. How do we activate local residential elderly populations around e-bike transportation options? How do we think about pollinator corridors in a really very gray and non-natural location? How do we reduce our energy usage through LED retrofits in corporate office buildings? So they're used to us knocking on their doors and saying, we're the Lloyd EcoDistrict, we've got this project, we really want you to come along with us. And so we're pretty excited about launching this pilot. So there should be a middle picture in there. So picture the middle picture as yourselves. So the picture in the middle is like really bored people, around an office eating a boxed lunch that has like a pretty stale sandwich in it, and there's probably a cookie that you really shouldn't eat, but then you'll sneak it off to your desk and you'll eat it later. So that's what the middle should look like. So what is the problem that we're trying to solve here? Well, first of all, food waste contributes to, if food waste was itself a country, it would be third behind the US and China in terms of its emissions. So it's producing about 4.4 gigatons of CO2 or methane or other emissions just by virtue of all of the waste that's implied in getting food to the table and the food that is at the table being wasted and ending up in the landfill. So that's a huge impact globally. Also, we're dealing with hunger. So 800 million people worldwide are suffering from hunger. 13% of Oregonians are suffering from hunger, and that's probably a low number. And then in terms of the office culture, you know, we're creating a kind of a wasteful environment in terms of these opportunities that happen every day in front of us. So we have lots of plates of food that still have little bits and pieces on them. This is happening all over the place. So we have a real opportunity at scale to really scale up a different kind of opportunity. And so that's where Lloyd Delivers comes in. So Lloyd Delivers is essentially addressing the upstream reduction of food waste and the downstream opportunities to donate very high quality leftovers to folks who need them most while getting that food out of the landfill. And partnering with Portland Pedal Power, which is a bike delivery catering opportunity in Portland, with eBay Foundation, and with Move Food, which is also a nonprofit working on food donation. So let me tell you a little bit about the partners. eBay Foundation has been working with us on a previous project, and they were interested in working with us on this project if we could find a technology component to our upstream, downstream kind of food waste idea. So the idea was, if there's a mobile technology aspect to this, then eBay was going to be on board with a community foundation grant with us. And in talking to Portland Pedal Power, which is a recent also community partner, we came up with this idea that we could use our power of kind of eco-district aggregation in our network to find a way of delivering that food in a more efficient way on the front end, and then on the back end, if there are donatable leftovers, that we could use the mobile app to find in-time delivery of those leftovers. So here's my complicated diagram of how this works. So up front, you have in the middle, you have the sort of business as usual case. That's our office workers, our folks in the Lloyd district who are eating our box lunches on the regular, and also add to that mix the eBay employees in the Portland office, which comprises about 200 people. So altogether, the opportunity is what's happening in the middle there. On the front end, we try to deliver that food to them in a way that is family style, is less packaging, is portion controlled in a way that's sort of served up in a way that isn't sort of assumes everybody wants the same amount of food, is served on durable goods, so those packaging and materiality of the food is lessened. Once that food is eaten, there's inevitably leftovers. Sometimes those leftovers are very vast in quantity in terms of big catered events. Sometimes they're very small. So depending on what those leftovers look like and how high quality they are, they can either be redelivered to a food insecurity nonprofit partner, like a homeless shelter, like New Avenues for Youth or a Portland Rescue Mission, or if it's much smaller, it is an opportunity for the individual employees to form a relationship through the mobile technology, through Move Food, to find folks in the community in which they live and work who actually are experiencing hunger. And so folks can use the app to indicate that they have leftovers for donation, and likewise, people who are experiencing hunger can indicate that they are needing food. And that can either happen through the organizations or that can happen through individuals. And so in the end, what this helps us do is not only remove the sort of food waste equation, we think it also helps alleviate some hunger. And more importantly, from an eco-district perspective, I think it really helps us elevate the conversation and raise consciousness and allow individuals to really enter into this conversation about not only food waste and what its impacts are, but also how can they have a more personal relationship to their communities and in terms of their communities of folks who are experiencing hunger. So that it's not just this, a far off issue that nonprofits are dealing with. It's not just an issue that, is sort of happening in abstract, but we've created a way for people to sort of start to think about these things on a more personal basis. And then from that entree point, then they find a way of figuring out what else they want to do about hunger, what else do they want to do about food waste, how else do they want to interact with these really big entrenched societal questions. And so this is the first year of this pilot. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces. I know it's very complicated, and we're not really sure how it's going to work and how much uptake we'll get. But if we can sort of work this through, and I think we can, we hope that it's a very scalable project. We hope that it's a very scalable sort of idea that can be adapted to very easily to other neighborhoods within Portland and beyond. So that's that. Thank you.